Hello friends, this is Lew White again. This one's called Satan's Tell. You ever play cards? There's like these 52 cards in a deck and people sit around gambling. Well, I'm not talking about tarot cards. You know, that's divination. And, you know, that's where mediums, or read Deuteronomy 18, you shouldn't have anything to do with tarot cards. Well, this is no game. The Torah is not a game. The commandments of Yahuah are serious, and they teach you how to love. And his people perish because of a lack of knowledge. They don't know his will, so they're easily tricked by the trickster. Well, the adversary, or Satan as they call him, shatan, that has two meanings in Hebrew. We'll just call him the adversary. That's what the definition of shatan is. Anyway, he has a tell. If you were playing cards with him, there's a tell. He has a little giveaway signal that he always uses, and it always is effective. He's tricked people with it. The first man and woman were tricked in the garden to not believe the word of Yahuah, that it had changed, or it didn't matter, or was not important, or whatever. But he has a tell. He changes the words of Yahuah, limits them, makes them seem to mean something other than what they really mean, or he conceals the name, and he's diverting worship to himself. And worship is obedience. It's what you are the servant of the one whom you obey. So if you obey Hashatan, or the many messengers of light that seem to be teaching you light, but in fact are teaching you darkness. They're teaching you disobedience to Yahuah's word, and they're obeying someone else. Nobody's going to be thrown into the lake of fire, or are going to be condemned in any way because they kept the commandments of Yahuah. That's not ever going to happen. There's no way that Yahuah is going to punish you because you obeyed him. But he is going to punish a great number of people because they did not listen. And they think something's changed or whatever. These deceiving deceivers, the trickster that is orchestrating them like a puppet master. The Ten Commandments are easy, and they're not difficult at all. He says so. You can read them. The covenant of love, it teaches you how to love him and love your neighbor. And they're easy. Don't let anybody say that you can't, or don't believe them, that you can't obey them. What is the tell of Hashatan? The tell is that he wants you to disobey. And he makes up excuses and argues with you and says, oh, nobody can obey those commandments. That's not possible. That's why Yahusha had to obey them for you. No, it's not written anywhere. Never is that written anywhere. The covenant of love is eternal. The animal blood was a temporary priestly order set up to offer animal blood to show us the penalty and severity for sin against the crime against his covenant. He wants you to enjoin to him in immersion by washing these crimes away from you in a metaphoric way. And in reality, he sees you pledging your good conscience towards him when you go in the water. And that's the beginning point. You're turning away from the world and you're turning to him. And his face streams love all over you. And you feel it when you come up out of the water. You're a new creation. I was dead at one time, pursuing knowledge only and not the one that had made me. And then I did this act. It was dark. It was like, I don't know, it must have been 11:30 at night. I grabbed my son and said, hey, you want to go? Watch me immerse. And he said, sure, Dad. And I went into the water and I came up and it was like 20 degrees outside. It was cold. And I just brought a towel or two with me and drove home warm. And it was wonderful. So if you really, really want to seek him, read Acts 5, verse 32. The Ruach HaKodesh, who is Yahuwah, he shed his own blood for you so that he could purchase you. And all he's asking you, if you read Acts 5:32, it says the Ruach HaKodesh is only given to those who obey him. And what is the first step of obedience? To repent and stop sinning, learn the commandments, and be immersed. That's the beginning. And at that point, everything changes. You see everything from his perspective, and more so as you walk with him, and he helps you. He's not going to be the helper unless you begin to obey him. Now watch the rest of the video, and we'll see some more tells that shatan has. Bye. This is the name that the builders rejected. Read from right to left, it's 4 letters. And we'd like to, first of all, remember that this is the scariest name in all the world for people who don't know him. Yod, He, Ua, He. And the man who they call Joshua, his real name is Yahusha, and this was his name first. It was just Husha, 4 letters, and the letters are He, and that would be this letter, and then Ua, and then the Sheen is 1 letter, but we have to make 2 to make the sound, and then the last letter is Ayin. So his name was 4 letters too, and it means save or deliverer. Shah is short from another root, Yasha, and the Shah is sometimes written as Shua, and that's an interesting thing. And Moshe invented the name Yahusha by adding 1 letter, and it turned it into Yahusha. And you remember Netanyahu, that's the ending of the prime minister's name. So we know that we're really getting close. This is the Savior's name. It means I am your deliverer. We're Natsarim. We're the branches of Yahusha. He said, Ani hagafen, ata hanatsarim. That means I am the vine. Ani hagafen. Ata hanatsarim. You are the Natsarim, the branches of his teachings. And we're the Natsarim search team. We're looking for Natsarim. We're trying to awaken his bride in the last days. Who's the scariest fellow on the planet? It's a creature. Well, most people would acknowledge, if they really gave it a good thought, they'd think, well, it'd probably be Satan. His name is really not known specifically. Some of us have investigated it, and we don't pronounce his name. In fact, it's kind of the biggest insult you can make towards a person, to not ever say their name. And that seems to be the modus operandi of the adversary, is to never allow the name of the Creator, which I showed you at the beginning, which is written above this menorah on the flag behind me. Yod, He, Ua, He. It's all vowels. It's Yahuwah. He doesn't want that name to be known, the adversary. And the adversary is the most scared creature in the universe, because he already knows he's been judged and he's been found out. But most people haven't been aware that he's been running things for a while. And the fall of man was ultimately caused because they believed that the first man and woman believed him instead of Yahuwah's word. And he casts doubt on the word, or twists his word, and he's a trickster. He makes you think, oh yeah, everything's fine now, man. He died for you, and he obeyed for you, and you don't have to worry about a thing now. All you have to believe is that he existed and that he died for you. Well, that's coming from what they call John 3:16. And that's been propelled into the world, and that is part of the message. But read the rest of it. See, the trickster doesn't want you to know the rest, so he only gives you abbreviated texts. I'm going to read the area around 3:16 and let you evaluate this for yourself. All right, let's get the big magnifiers out. All right. Now we'll start out by saying that we'll start off with John 3:16, Yahushua 3:16. By the way, Yahushua means Yahuah is kind. Okay. Now watch this. It says at beginning at Yahushua chapter 3, verse 15, it says, so that whoever is believing in him should not perish, but possess everlasting life. Well, does Shatan believe in him? Absolutely. Even demons believe, and they tremble. They know Yahuwah is one. For Elohim so loved the world that he gave his only brought forth Son, so that everyone who believes in him should not perish, but possess everlasting life. That's where they stop. Now here's the rest of it in the context. For Elohim did not send his Son into the world to judge the world, but that the world through him might be delivered. Now let's keep going. Don't give up yet. The real truth is about to unveil itself if you keep reading. He who believes in him is not judged, but he who does not believe is judged already, because he has not believed in the name of the only begotten Son of Elohim. We'll stop there and think about that for a moment. They've not believed in the name. That might mean the trickster has taken his name and hidden it, and no one knows it, because his name certainly can't be J-E-S-U-S. Those letters didn't exist, the J didn't exist. Then what does it even mean? It's just not working. Now, let's keep reading. And this is the judgment, that the light has come into the world, and men love the darkness rather than the light, for their works were wicked. For everyone who is practicing evil things hates the light and does not come to the light, lest his works should be exposed. But the one practicing the truth comes to the light, so that his works are clearly seen, and that they have been confirmed in Elohim. That means we have to act on something. And that means the word believe in him does not just mean to think something. It also means to heed. You hear and you heed. You obey. So that's what it's about. It's a message. This is not complete if you chop it in half. It doesn't work. Now, here's the covenant that he's talking about. The eternal covenant that was inside the ark. It's a covenant of love or kindness. And it's right there. There's 10 of them, and the 10 words are right there. What did you know, and when did you know it? You know it now. The adversary is the most scared creature in this universe. He knows his days are short. Yahuwah is going to punish the ones that are disobedient. If you're idolatrous, you don't even know it, but get this article, and it's going to show you about the old Greek games and how they try to still do them. And syncretism, that's a big word. Making stuff mean other stuff. That's a pretty fun article. And then we've got turning things into other things, but turning aside to myths. Getting some holy water and maybe a little sun-shaped thing with a little moon on it. Wait a minute. But Turning aside the mess. And if you want to get some, I've got lots. This is the newest one I've got out. This is they're called the Fall of Babel. The fall of man happened. We know that. But the fall of Babel is when the king of Babel falls. And that's, the bad guy. Well, and the name is critical. And we've got this one. I really like this one. This one's called Love. It's an introduction to the BYNV, but it's also the introduction. You can read the 19 or 20 pages in the book that this is based on. This is a 4-page tract. And let's see, we've got Reapers are coming, so that's another tract. But you can get all of these together by going and downloading them from torazone.net for free. Or you can get the disc. There's 110 items on this disc. I don't know if you can see that. We call it the Ambassador Package. And it's a CD, not an audio CD. It's files. And you can make copy after copy. And you can make copies of this too. If you have a copier or DVD writer, you can also make copies of this or have it done. Make as many as you want. They will cost us because we have to make these discs and send them to you. But those are available at torazone.net, the disc. And you can get all of these tracks. There's like 110 of them. And watch for my new book. It's called Fall of Babel. And it's going to be on Amazon. It probably will be by the time some of you see this. But it's going to expose a lot of things. And a lot of people that read it for the first time are going to be pretty shocked. So anyway, thanks for watching this, and we'll talk to you in the next video. Didn't want to make it too long. We love you. Bye. Yahusha said, "And many malicious prophets shall rise up, and lead many astray. And because of the increase in lawlessness, the love of many shall become cold. But he who shall have endured to the end shall be delivered. And this Besorah of the reign shall be proclaimed in all the world as a witness to all the Goyim. And then the end shall come."